So from downward facing dog, we are going to make our way into a hip opening sequence as seated. So shifting the weight into the palms of the hands, look forward and with a step or a hop, come to sit. Bringing the feet together, let your knees fall out sideways for Baddha Konasana, bound angle posture. Now, as I've mentioned before, we want to be thoughtful about the position of the knees relative to the hips. So if your knees are higher than your belly button, go ahead and place a block underneath your hips. By elevating the hips off of the floor, this will therefore allow the knees to fall into a lower position, creating more beneficial stretch and also being kinder and gentler on your knees. If you don't need that support, just simply holding on to the feet, we'll lengthen the spine forward with an exhale, bowing toward the earth as we gaze at the mat just beyond our toes. Now the two heels should be gently pressing into one another, not with a great deal of force, but just enough to help you imagine that your thigh bones could stretch out of the hip sockets sideways. Don't worry about putting the legs down onto the floor, but instead touch the wall at the right side of the room with your right knee and the wall at the left side of the room with your left knee. Last exhalation, keeping the neck soft, and then with an inhale, draw yourself back up into a tall spine. So closing the knees up like a book, stretch the legs straight out before you, and then opening your legs wide, somewhere between 90 to 120 degrees. Please set that cushion beneath your hips and alternatively bending the knees a little or a lot to accommodate your hamstrings. Now start walking your hands forward bit by bit, using the straightened arms for support, the elbows, maybe stacking up fists to lower your forehead or eventually palms. Once you've arrived at your intelligent edge, let the webbing of the toes soften as the toes themselves lift into the sky, and spread your inhalations out through the inseams of your legs. And really revel in your breath. Inhalations making the posture more comfortable. Exhalations relinquishing physical sensation, relinquishing mental resistance. Really just letting go of anything that does not serve you in this moment. Last couple breaths here, softening and changing. And then remember, we don't ever want to lift out of a pose using our head. Okay, this can strain and stress the neck. So keep your head heavy and start to push through the hands, walking your way back up to tall, finally eyes over the horizon. Closing your legs up like a book, stretch them straight out before you. Paschimottanasana, our standard seated forward fold. Catching hold of your big toes, your belt, or your ankles. Knees bent and hips on cushion to accommodate, with a long spine melt into your forward fold. The eyes can gaze toward the earth between your shins as your jaw slackens. The space between the shoulders melting as the heart falls with every exhale beneath the weight of gravity. Picture whatever it is that you're feeling and then breathe into it more thoughtfully. Last exhale. And then rising back up to tall, grab your knees, pull them in toward the chest. Set yourself back in bound angle position, but this time take your hands back behind you about 6 inches, fingers forward, hands shoulder width. Roll the arm bones toward your heart center, and then with an inhale, rocking your pelvis forward, move your belly button toward your heels, your heart toward the ceiling, eyes up, but those arm bones still turn forward so we can stretch through the chest, through the front of the shoulder for 3. Breathe deep into the tops of your lungs. 2. Keep the back of the neck long, and with an inhale, draw the head forward. Exhale, just a momentary counter, rounding the spine over the feet, head heavy as can be. Baddha Konasana, also known as cobbler's pose. Keeping the head heavy, scoop out your belly just a little, hollow the solar plexus, And with an inhale, begin to round up vertebra by vertebra. Hands around the knees to close your legs up like a book. Lift the feet just a millimeter off the floor for a hug. And then taking it to dog or vinyasa, step back to plank position, tailbone to heels, lower. Inhale, draw your heart forward, your toes back. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Take a full breath, acknowledging the effects of your practice on your body, your breath, and your mind. Now, final Shavasana, or corpse posture. So from downward facing dog, shifting the weight into the palms as we transition to sit, step or lightly hop, and then roll down onto the back, opening your legs out about to the edges of your mat, and then dropping the arms open at your sides, palms face the ceiling. So adjusting the hips first, a little rocking from side to side as you lengthen your tailbone down into your feet. With the shoulders, likewise, scoot the shoulder blades down a little bit away from the ears. Now let the back of your neck lengthen slightly, finding perhaps just a little tuck of the chin toward the chest. Soften your primary sense organs. So unclench your teeth as the tongue and the mouth relaxes. Open your sinuses. Soften your eyes. And feel the ears and the space between them grow relaxed. Now leaving the distraction of your physical body behind as you dive deep beneath the surface, plunging into the rhythm of your breath. Feel the space swelling with the inhale, and then that condensation, that shrinking on the exhale. As you fill every cell in the body, it grows larger, taking up more space in the room. And when you exhale, every cell softens and sinks. For Shavasana, it can be tempting, especially at home, to just take a little short break before jumping off of your mat and carrying on to the next piece of your day. And it can be easy to find yourself distracted with all the things around you going on. But Shavasana is one of the most beneficial postures that we practice. So it's important not to cheat ourselves here. A good marker for Shavasana is remaining in this pose so long that you lose all sense of time whatsoever. Every muscle should feel relaxed. The breath totally passive and smooth. And in order to make your way there, guiding the mind to focus on the inhale and exhale. Your thoughts will reach out for any distraction they can, any excuse to get you off of your mat, as the mind resists focus and stillness. So stay with the breath and the breath alone. Smile when your mind dances around the room. And then breath after breath, reconnect. Breath after breath, return. So start now by deepening your inhalations, helping you to pull awareness back into your body. And keeping the eyes softly shut. Some very small movements will bring additional life back down into the arms and legs. So wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, and try to feel those electrical impulses from your brain reaching out into those extremities. As you start to really feel yourself getting a hold again on the body, we'll take those small movements and allow them to grow slowly larger. And we'll edge our legs together inch by inch, keeping them straight. And then as legs draw into the center line, reaching arms up overhead, point your feet and with a deep breath stretch from your fingers to your toes before softening. Bending the knees in, feet on the floor, roll to your left side, dropping the head into your left arm as a pillow just for a moment. And then fill yourself up. Press your right hand into the floor using the strength of the arms, rising to a comfortable seated posture. Taking the hands to heart center to honor yourself, as well as your fellow students out there, wherever they may be, doing their practice. Namaste.